is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Thank you so much for being here. This show is created to discuss life topics, and as you know, I go around looking for the best humans on the planet to bring them here to challenge and transform your thinking. And today I have John and his dad, Mark Cronin, here, and they are the founders of John's Crazy Socks. It's a social enterprise with a mission to spread happiness. In 3 years, they have bootstrapped their startup to a multi-million-dollar company with sales over 80 nations. And John has had Down syndrome, but he always says that Down syndrome never holds me back. I love that. Absolutely love that. How are you all doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. I have yours.
We're glad to be here. Thank you, Neena.
I'm so glad you're here. I think we were in Podmatch or somewhere where we found each other. And I was just reading the story of John and starting these crazy socks and all this great stuff. And I'm like, what a beautiful gift to the world. It brings, I think especially with this last year of COVID and all this going on, joy is definitely needed, right?
We need some more happiness, some more appreciation, more gratitude about what we have.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And also more focus. I think people are doing this, focusing more on what matters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. So how did you all get started in this? Like, it's just John just loving socks, or what happened here?
Well, that's the basis of it, right? You love socks, don't you?
I love crazy, fun, colorful, fun socks.
But it really started, as many businesses do, out of a place of need, and in a difficult place. So we started together back in 2016, in the fall of 2016. And where were you?
I entered in Huntington High School. I got to be my last year.
So here's something that people may not know. In the United States, doesn't matter if you're in Connecticut, New York, doesn't matter the state, if you have a disability, you can stay in the public school system until you turn 21. But that was going to be John's last year, because he was going to be turning 21. And when you're in school, everything is right there in front of you, all your services and supports. But once you're done with school,
right,
now you're on your own.
Right.
It's sometimes known as the 21-year-old cliff, because you're out on your own. In states like Connecticut or New York, there are lots of services. In states like Florida and Texas, there are no services. But either way, you have to find your own way. So John was in that place, and you were trying to figure out what you were going to do, right? What were you looking at?
I look at a job, program, and school. I don't like jobs that I don't like.
And then myself, I was in a bad way. I had been working with my wife in her business, because my wife is a wonderful woman, right? We love Mom, right?
I do.
But she suffered from and was dealing with chronic depression. So she's really good at some things, but would need help and support. So we're working together in what had become a family business. And then what happened is, depression, sometimes people do things that are both irrational and self-destructive.
Yeah.
She had done that a number of years earlier. She had dipped into a client account and taken some money. So the same time that John is looking to try to figure out what he's going to do, we had 2 police detectives show up at our office door to arrest my wife. And overnight, we closed what was the family business, and now we had no income. We had a big debt to pay. And I'm there wondering, what's my son going to do?
Right.
And my wife is facing jail time. I was 58 at the time. I'm an entrepreneur, which means I'm unemployable, right?
Right.
What were we going to do? And so a lot of our story is about John finding things, but John, he winds up being my hero because
That's
he saved
amazing.
us all, right? We're binding together as a family. You got to hold tight. I was starting some online businesses. And then what you tell me,
I want to go at dinner with my dad. A nice father's dinner.
right? He said, Dad, let's go
Oh
into
my
business
gosh.
together. And at first I thought I'm helping him, but he was helping me saying, Dad, we can do this, right?
Wow.
And like entrepreneurs, we have a lot of ideas, right?
Yes, you do.
Some of them are even good ideas. And so what was your second idea for a business?
A second idea, a food truck. I have an idea about the a movie Chef and John Favreau.
So this seemed like fun, right? We could open a food,
Yeah.
right? In New Haven, they have all those food trucks lined up
Yeah.
along
Lined
the
up. Yeah.
highway, right? Seemed like fun, except we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
Yeah, we can't.
That's a problem.
But then, right before Thanksgiving, John is the one, he had his eureka idea,
I
right?
did. I want to sell crazy socks. Why socks is fun, it's colorful and creative. I'll always let me be me. I
So
want to get something
Awesome.
kind of life.
he'd worn these crazy socks his whole life. So we said, okay, let's test this idea, right? Thinking if John loved these socks so much, surely other people would, and we could find our tribe.
Yeah.
So we went the lean startup
Fantastic.
route, no big business plan. Let's just get this up and test. So we built a website on the Shopify platform. John already had the name,
I did. I tried a website.
right? We're bootstrapping. So you got to make do with what you have.
That's
The
right.
only marketing we did was to set up a Facebook page. I took out my cell phone and would make videos. And who was in those videos?
I am. I talk about socks, more socks.
And what day did we
I
open?
love it.
We will be on Friday, December 9th, 2016.
And that's how we got started. We tested it.
Wow.
We were very fortunate. We got what felt like a flood of orders. And most of them were local, right? We live in the town of Huntington. John was in Huntington High School. We had temporary office space there. So what did we do with those first orders,
Our first order is a home delivery.
right? We got red
Oh,
boxes.
okay.
We
Yeah.
loaded up the car. We drove around. John knocked on doors and handed out socks, right?
I did.
How the customers respond?
Customers respond. They love our socks and they put it on social media. What I guess a spread.
We had customers ordering again just to have John come back to their door.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And we started hearing from people who found the story and the whole idea inspirational, right? Particularly from families that had somebody with a differing ability.
Hmm.
So when you ask, that's a long-winded answer of
That's a
that's
beautiful
how we got
answer.
started. But we share that because we want people to know, right? Even when it's dark,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
find some light.
Yeah.
You can find possibilities.
Hmm.
And instead of looking at what you don't have, instead of looking at all the obstacles, look at what you do have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful and true, right? Because you can get into a dark place and it's very easy to stay there if you want to. But when you are in that place, it is very difficult to see the opportunities of beautiful things in front of you. I love that you were able to pull back from all that was happening to you because there was a lot going on and saying, okay, what can we explore here as opposed to shutting down as well, right? Which would have made it difficult for John as well to try to, navigate what was happening in his life,
Right.
because that was a lot to take on.
You-
Was your attitude always like that, Mark? Did you, when your beautiful baby boy came into the world and you knew you're going to have some challenges ahead of you, were you also looking at it like, okay, this is what we got, or did John teach you that throughout his life?
I think it's a combination, but definitely we learned this from John. So we did not know he was going to be born with Down syndrome. So that came as a surprise. And here's something many people may not know. Well, first we should tell folks, how do you get Down syndrome? What do you have?
I had done it. We have a three heart,
Well, 321st
three
chromosome.
21
right.
chromosome.
We all have 23 pairs of chromosomes. People with Down syndrome have an extra 21st chromosome. That's how you get Down syndrome. And people born with Down syndrome all face certain physical challenges, intellectual development disabilities, low muscle tone. Some things are little curious things, like if you look at your hand,
Mm-hmm.
you have 3 creases across your hand.
Mm-hmm.
John only has 2.
Oh, okay.
But they also can face significant medical issues, and that's what John faced. On day 3 of his life, he needed what was intestinal bypass surgery. We
Mm,
didn't know if he was going to make it. We brought a
right,
Catholic priest in to baptize him because we didn't know if he'd make it off the table.
right.
And before he was 3 months old, he needed open heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
About 50% of people born with Down syndrome have significant heart defects. He had 2 holes in his heart.
Mm,
So you kind of learn of, okay, what do we have next? And now what do we
Yeah.
do? It's
Right.
always, now what do we do? And that's important in our personal lives,
right.
but it also carries over into our businesses, right?
That's right.
So you get hit with a pandemic. Okay, now what do
Right.
we do?
Right, right.
How do we find a way forward? How do we adapt? What new opportunities present themselves?
Yeah. And the pandemic has definitely brought new ideas, right? I mean, like me and you are meeting this way because of the pandemic, right? Because we are actually able to communicate now through Zoom. And so did the pandemic help you and John increasing your business? Like, were you able to like really capture more eyes now that everybody was online?
It changed things in a big way. First, in the spring of 2020, it cost us more than $500,000 in business. And that's because we kind of have 3 selling seasons. And in the
Mhm.
spring, a lot of our business is around public events, around
Oh,
World
got
Down
it.
Syndrome Day and people and media attention. That all got wiped out. But then, so the first thing was take care of health, make sure everybody's safe. Then we adapted. So I'll give you an example. We host school tours here, and we would get 4 or 5 a week coming in.
Mm,
Well, during a pandemic, we can't have that. So we moved those online. Now, it's not the same as doing it virtually, but now we've had school classes from around the world come to visit.
that's
The same
awesome.
thing with speaking engagements,
Right.
right? We were crossing the country doing keynote speeches and speaking to different groups, which you loved, right? We were across Canada, US, Mexico.
That sounds fun.
No more speaking in person. But then that opens the world. So now we've spoken literally around the world, and
Right.
we get to speak to groups that we otherwise would not have spoken to. So last week, we spoke to a group in Rhode Island. It's a group of entrepreneurs who have different abilities. Well, pre-pandemic, if we were thinking we'd have to go there, it wasn't going to be worth taking a day or 2. And they couldn't afford to pay us, and we kind of couldn't afford to go.
Right.
But we could do that virtually.
Right.
So
Right.
it opens things there. And it creates new opportunities. So, here's an easy one. We started selling masks, right? But
Oh,
what's our
smart.
mission?
Spreading happiness.
Spreading happiness. So how can we spread happiness? Well, what do you do every Tuesday afternoon?
Every Tuesday, I host a dance party.
John hosts an online dance party.
Oh,
What's more fun than that?
fun.
And how
Yeah,
do you connect with people, right?
that's
Because
fun.
you keep, you just keep finding a way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To connect and serve people. We created a charity fundraising program that's touchless and remote because so many nonprofits, they couldn't hold their usual events or their usual money raising.
Right, right.
So we created something that would let them do that remotely. So you just keep finding a
You're
way.
adapting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it just sounds like that is innate in you and John also, because, faced with a lot of, before this even started, right? Faced with that big boom, you were still able to like think and pivot and shift. And now you are where you are today, which is amazing. Amazing. John, good job. Very, very proud of you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I need to be talking to you about business ideas. That's
We,
so good.
it turns out John is a natural entrepreneur, right? I'll give you a little anecdote. It's January of 2017. We're just getting started. We're learning firsthand. Nobody buys anything in January because they spent all their money in the
Right,
holiday.
for Christmas, right?
Um, and that's when we learned that people celebrate World Down Syndrome Day, which is
Hmm.
what day?
A day of March 21st.
March 21st. They celebrate that by wearing crazy socks. You you would have
Oh,
thought we knew
wow.
that in advance. We didn't. Oh, we're not that smart, right? So now we go looking for a Down syndrome sock that we could sell in our store. Because at that point, we were just buying socks from other suppliers and selling them. We couldn't find one.
Hmm.
What'd you say?
I said I want to create one. I want to make one.
That's what he did. So John
Wow.
designed the world's first Down syndrome,
Aw, isn't that awesome?
and that raises money for whom,
A NASA down from outside.
right? So because we're always giving back, if we're going to make that, it's going to not only raise
That's
awareness, but
fantastic.
raise funds. But to John, this is just obvious. What's wrong with you?
Right.
We just go and do this.
Right, right. Oh my God. And that is, that's an inventor, right? That is an entrepreneur and an inventor. Like, I mean, if you don't see it, make it, create
Right.
it,
Right.
it's so amazing. That's wonderful. I have actually a few friends with children that have Down syndrome. And so I'm definitely going to be sending them there for that, because they love supporting anything that supports their kids, And like
Right.
you said, Mark, and I didn't even know that after like 21, like what? I mean,
Well,
look what John has been able to prove, right? That he's able to be an entrepreneur and have a business and create things and stuff. And so, and I feel sad for those at 21 that don't have that support system.
well,
Right? But
here's
he's
the
doing
here's
that.
the thing. Like more than half of our employees have a differing ability. And what we're always driving home, that's not altruism. That's just good business.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people, business owners do you hear from who say, I can't find enough workers. I can't find good workers. And yet we have this vast untapped pool of labor of people with different abilities
Right.
who are ready, willing, and able to work. Hire them because
Right.
it's going to give you a competitive advantage, not
Right.
because, oh, you think this is a nice thing. Like I'm always pointing out, John here, he's a very nice guy. I'm not, you know, we, we got a business to run, right?
Right. Right.
Right. It's a social enterprise. So yes, we have a very strong social mission,
Right.
but they feed off each other.
Right.
And it turns out we like to live indoors, right?
Right.
We got to make some money, pay the rent.
That's right. And so you play the good guy, bad guy, or good cop, bad cop,
Well,
right?
John's teaching me all the time, right?
Right.
If you talk to some of your friends, they probably heard this when their children were born. Oh, God would only give you a burden that he knew you could handle.
Right.
Well, first of all, my son, and John is the youngest of three. None of my sons are a burden.
Right.
Second of all, John has taught us.
Right.
He's been patient. He's been kind. He's been waiting for us to catch up to him.
Right.
Um,
I believe that.
my sons, my wife, and I, we are all better off because of John.
Right. Right. I
Right?
believe it.
Don't let
I'm
it go to
better
your
off.
head.
I'm better off because of John.
Right?
He's
Don't let it go to your
inspired
head.
me.
You're big. You know, you're the owner, right? You're the owner of the business, but you still got to take the garbage out, right?
Right. Right. Somebody's got to do it. Right. You guys are amazing. John, what are you going to do now? Are you inventing more socks, you think? Do you have more designs?
We got a new design.
We're always designing. He's always designing more
Awesome.
socks. We have, well, we just introduced, we're working with the American Cancer Society on their
Oh,
Goal
wonderful.
Together campaign to fight pediatric cancer. So we're a national
Oh,
sponsor.
that's fantastic.
And we designed a line of socks to support them. We've introduced those. We have our sock design contest winner, the winner of our Autism Can Do scholarship. Both of them designed socks.
Wow.
We have a whole line of Christmas socks that are a new line coming out. We have new Halloween socks. We have throw blankets that we're now introducing. I
Oh,
really love the
great.
Down syndrome themed ones. And then next year, we'll be bringing out our military themed socks to thank
Oh, yes.
the military. So there's always stuff cooking up.
Good.
Here's a fun thing we're working on. What's our mission?
Spread happiness.
Spread and happiness, right?
That's it. That's
Well,
it.
if that's what we do, we ought to be able to measure that. So we're creating a happiness index that we will publish at our website. And 50% of that will come from our customers and 50% from our employees.
Oh,
So
wow.
that we can always ask, how much happiness are we creating? We're working with the Society of Human Resource Management to develop that. And then we're going to say to other organizations,
Right.
where's your happiness index? How
Right.
much happiness are you creating?
Right. Right.
Imagine if the president of the United States, if when she or he came to speak to the country on the podium, they had to publish their happiness index. How much happiness are they creating? Right? Good stuff.
Right.
That is good stuff. I am so happy to have met you both, and I will definitely be one of those customers. So I can't wait to see that meter come out. And like I said, in my family, we have that tradition of crazy socks every year. It's a tradition that we have because my niece, unfortunately, was killed in a car accident several years ago, and that was something she loved doing. So we've kept it as an honor for her. So it's definitely something that I love very much. It's very close to my heart. So when I read about John's crazy socks, my heart was leaping, right? Because I'm like, oh, I love this. So I can't wait to spread even more joy by spreading all of what you guys do. So thank you guys for being on Straight Talk. I appreciate you
And if
very much.
people want to get great socks, where can they get them?
Yeah, where they go?
I go at John's crazysocks.com.
And Nina, here are some cool things. How many different pairs of socks do we have?
3,000 different socks.
John
Wow.
is now the owner of the world's largest sock store.
Wow.
And when people buy from us, right, it's not just a transaction. You're helping us employ people with differing abilities. You're helping us give back. So here's a really cool fact, right? John, you're a Special Olympic athlete.
Yes, I am.
John has donated over $100,000 to the Special Olympics. And what goes in every package?
A sticky note from me and candy.
Every package gets a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note from John and candy.
Oh, wow.
So when you get that package, you're sharing in happiness, right?
Right.
You know, you're helping us hire people, giving back. You get the thank you note, you get the candy. That's a little dose of happiness.
Yes, it is. Anything sweet like that and crazy socks is definitely happy times for Neena. That's for sure. This was fantastic. So John, it was johnscrazysocks.com, right?
Right.
Right.
And you can
Perfect.
find us, do search for John's Crazy Socks on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
Great.
Twitter, TikTok. You're doing lots of TikTok, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that too? Oh, I gotta go
Oh,
on there.
oh.
Is it for him dancing?
Him dancing. Lots
I
of
gotta go
TikTok.
see that. Well, you have a fan in me. Thank you guys so much for being here with me.
Well,
I
thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thanks so
I'm so
much.
good. Thank you. And guys, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure that you definitely get your crazy socks and go on to johnscrazysocks.com. Go ahead and follow them on social media. They're on all the platforms. I'll make sure to link everything below for you so that you can make sure you can follow them, buy from them, support them. They're doing amazing things. This is Neena Perez. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.
You should listen to Neena Perez,
You should listen to Neena Perez.
right? Check out the Straight Talk, No Sugar Added podcast. You'll be glad you did.
This broadcast is brought to you by Winject Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.